I don't even want to.
And we're recording.
I was up till 5 a.m., so.
I went to bed at 3, no excuses.
Never an excuse.
And I woke up at 5 a.m. for like 2 hours.
Can we talk about the Russell Wilson throw last night? And if you have to ask what throw, y'all
Lock
didn't
it.
watch the game. Just
It's a two.
Catch of the year.
It's a twofer on that because one, it's like, how does he think that he can put it in that space? And then not only does Lockett there, but he's there with about 6 inches of buffer.
I was excited for Jere watching that play, man. I didn't.
I was
know
about
what
to
say.
reach through the phone and choke you because as soon as you said, "Oh, it's locked up," that's when they didn't go for it on fourth down. Rams immediately come down. It's like, you son of a.
Talk about Vegas having it rigged with that 1.5 spread. Come on, man. What is? Oh, by the way, over the past 2 games, what is Gurley's carry to touchdown ratio?
It's probably like 2 to 1.
Goddamn guy, the
He had
ball.
a couple good runs. He definitely had some good runs last night.
Last week was 5 carries, 2 touchdowns. How many carries for 2 touchdowns this week?
Well, the funny thing is, like
9.
now, and we had texted about this and talked
15
about that
too.
is
Yeah, 15. Good.
so 6, 7, what 8, 7.5 to 1. Give him the ball.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. They stopped handing Gurley the ball like after the
Well,
fourth?
when this is the Patriots, Bill Belichick broke Sean McVay because they've now played again. If Breeze is healthy, the Saints may have won
They
that
may
game.
have won that game, yeah.
But here's the thing: is like all the defenses now know what to do, so they'll set up on first and second down, and they do the 6 across. Cleveland does it. Seattle does it. Seattle's base defense is nothing like Cleveland's. Neither one of them are like the Patriots, which just match whatever you're trying to do and take it away. And so now they use the blueprint, and every team that plays them knows first and second down, we'll put 6 across, we'll stymie their run game, and then we'll force them out, and then hopefully we can defend with our guys on third
Dude,
down.
I've been saying that, like they're squeaking by games they should have killed people. The Cam Newton led Panthers because he was hurt were terrible. They barely won that game. They barely beat Cleveland. They only scored 20 points, and the other game they won, Drew Brees got hurt. Bridgewater had to come in mid game.
And the funny thing is, like the Panthers did not use the 6 across, and if they did, they may have gotten ahead enough early that they would have won the game.
They didn't do any of that. They shot the Panthers. Should have won that game. They shot themselves in the foot the entire time.
I'm mad at myself about last night because I was leaning Rams plus 1.5, and I was also leaning the over. I did not make a play. I made a halftime bet, went under. Obviously, terrible call there, but what a game though. We're getting good Thursday games, and I think we all can be
Last 3
thankful
weeks
for
now.
that. What book are you guys want to use? Should we make sure we're on the same page running down these?
I've been using Bookmaker.
Cool. Let's get up the lines. Let's run through
the
them.
past 2 weeks, Goff has thrown 65 and almost 50 passes.
So what's
He hasn't had a game without a turnover since week 11 of last year.
what's Wilson up to now? Is it 12-0 or 11-0?
He threw 4 last night.
So
4
12.
touchdowns, no picks. Yeah.
So 12-0 on
So
touchdowns and picks.
And the only other quarterbacks without interceptions, one's easy. Can everyone guess the other
Is it
one?
Mahomes?
Yes. Now, I told Jere the other one in the chat, and he couldn't believe it. You guys know who the other quarterback is without an interception?
No, actually, isn't it?
Tom.
No,
it's not Tom.
Bill's got him.
Yeah, it's not. Is that Minshew?
No, he's
He had 2 like the very first game.
Yeah,
even though
yeah.
He was 22 and 25.
He hasn't
with
thrown.
2
I don't
interceptions.
think he's thrown any since then, though. But
quarterback ratings like over 100.
it's not Joe. It's not Joe Flacco, is it?
Absolutely not.
Oh, God,
I was gonna say no.
Disgusting.
Is that Garoppolo?
No.
Is that,
Did you say Garoppolo?
I was like Garoppolo. I don't want to say Garoppolo. It's not. It's Garoppolo. Yeah, I got it. I'll put it up.
It's
perfect.
Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, exactly. His eyes popped out of his head, just like the mask.
But Mariota has like 7 touchdowns and no picks, but his like yards per attempt, because they're just such safe bitch passes.
They're like at 1.3 yards an attempt.
His quarterback rating is below people with like 2 or 3 picks.
That's terrible. All right, I'll run through the lines here, guys. I got them up here on Bookmaker.com. Who I want to back in.
Humble brag real quick. Last 2 Sundays, if you've been following me on Twitter, 6-2 on my last 2 weeks Sunday plays. Hit both plays of the week. That's why we're here again today, because we want to continually give winners. They're giving me the rundown.
You go through the lines.
I was going to do one last thing though. Did anyone catch that Braves game?
It was ridiculous. I missed the Lockett catch as it happened. About 3 people texted me immediately, so I flipped over and saw the replays because I was watching the Braves and everything. It was amazing. And the thing is, if Acuna was running on that first at bat the time before, he might have scored the run that would have been the difference in the game later. But he made up for it because he crushed that ball into, I think, Tennessee.
Yeah,
it was amazing. And St. Louis's head coach is a Charlotte native.
Yeah, I'll run through them. All right, kids. So let's go ahead and start running through the lines. Oh, by the way, this is Simon Says Bet. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi,
What's
everyone.
going on?
Yo. So let's go ahead and start from the
Seattle's
top.
always within 1 score. Always.
Yeah, it
What a
is.
game.
All right, we're going to do Ravens at Steelers. Right now, the line stands at -3.5 for the Ravens. The over-under is at 45.5.
Where's it at?
It's in Pittsburgh. Ugh. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, you heard me. I liked them on Monday night, too.
How quickly everyone got off the Ravens bandwagon. Thank God, because we were slandering them all offseason.
We're holding to it, though.
I'm not off
Well,
yet.
no, it's not about Lamar so much. It's just I think the rest of the team is.
I think Lamar Jackson's leading the NFL in fantasy football quarterback points.
He has to be.
It's exciting to watch. I mean, that's, and when this line came out, I used John's line from last week. This line seems low to me, and that makes me worried. I think Baltimore is the much better team, offense and defense, but 3.5. Well, I guess 3.5. You're giving 3 points for home field, so it's technically 6.5. I'm only going to lean Ravens -3.5. Pittsburgh's weird to me, man.
Pittsburgh's really weird.
A lot of their passes the other day, watching that Monday night game, were behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage, and I think Baltimore's going to do a better job of containing that. So my boy Stevie last night on JoJo Sports Betting, he actually took the under as an official play for that game. I'm only going to go with a lean on the Ravens 3.5.
I would. The thing that's really interesting is that the Pittsburgh locker room has really bought into the support from management with that Minka Fitzpatrick trade. Like once the quarterback goes out and they lost their best running back and their best wide receiver, they might have just folded. But they made that trade and they showed up and they've played pretty well. And then they made another trade for a tight end. So they're telling the team, it's like, we believe in this group, and they're looking around and are like, if they get this Baltimore win, they're kind of leading the division with control of that.
That division's kind of wide open.
It's pure disappointment at the moment.
It absolutely is. The whole, except for Cincinnati, who's playing up to expectations.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody else is cratering in a way, or just playing so oddly. I like the Ravens because they show that they can score points, which is harder for it seems to be in those division. But it's at Pittsburgh at home. They're looking at this, and this is, as games go in the first 6 that don't matter, they're looking at this as their season. If they get this and they get Baltimore, they're telling the whole division, we're back in the race and we can hold on and we can hang out and we don't need that big fat tub of sexist attacking abusive goo.
Oh no, they can't wait to get rid of him. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see why they want to keep him. That age and
Rooney was going to get rid of him right after the second one. I think it was because it was a combination of the 2 accusations and the riding on a motorcycle and crashing it without a helmet. I mean, his head is a helmet, but he was like, "You're too dumb. Get out."
His head is that big. Mason Rudolph seems to be doing pretty well for them. So but like I said, I actually like the Steelers and I like the under on that game. Everyone else, let's go ahead and put out Jerry.
Yeah, I like the Steelers. It'll have to be the under because I don't think Pittsburgh can score enough points.
Absolutely the under. I don't know. I don't see Pittsburgh scoring more than 17 points tops. I think
if they score more than that, there's a defensive touchdown.
Yeah, I think Baltimore takes it.
And
they're going to bounce back.
And that's another one I might look to derive if I am going to play it and go first half under, just because I think it might be more filling out process. Second half, maybe they get a little bit better idea of Lamar. They get a better idea of Rudolph on Pittsburgh. So that's something else I'd look into on my end.
Pittsburgh also played on Monday, short week.
Yeah,
it's a short week. That's very true. All right, so next game we have the Oakland Raiders hosting the Chicago Bears. The Bears are
in London.
Oh my God! All right,
so
don't bet at all.
It's a 9 a.m. game. I wouldn't bet this game personally at all. I don't even know. I wouldn't bet this game.
I think what's the over under on this?
40.
Oh, I think this might be below 30. Because I think Khalil Mack is going to live in Oakland's backfield, and the Bears can't score.
12-6 Bears.
Yeah, I mean which
don't wake up for this one, guys. That's just I'm just putting it.
Don't even flip over from EPL games.
Yeah,
those
just
will
watch
have more
the
scoring.
EPL game.
That'll have more scoring.
And don't start a single fantasy player.
Unless it's Khalil Mack on individual defensive players.
And rarely anyone has an individual defensive player.
I actually have Khalil Mack, an individual defensive player.
I would. The only bet on this is under. That's the only bet on this.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I don't necessarily like this game either. Gun to head, I would lean with the Bears -5 because I just think they are the better team. But then you have Chase Daniels. We don't know what to expect with him. So
he's the quarterback?
Yes.
Yeah, he played.
They might score a touchdown.
He played relatively well this past week. So I mean, No, they played what?
How long is he?
He's the new Charlie Whitehurst.
He's been around so long. He was the first of the prototypical new quarterbacks. Like
he went to what, Missouri,
ago.
right?
Missouri.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Southlake. He was Southlake Carroll.
They ran that weird pistol formation offense.
Yeah, he was the guy that was like the next best one. But then they realized like, oh, you're like 5'10" and you don't have a strong arm.
We don't have any really.
You're smart, but you just can't.
I'm looking at the EPL matchups for Sunday, and none of them are actually that good. So you're shit out of luck, guys. I'm sorry.
I think City will score a lot of points.
Yeah, you got Man City versus the Wolves, Arsenal versus
That'll be
Bournemouth.
fun because Wolves don't sit back. They don't park the bus.
Newcastle versus Man City, and then you have Southampton versus Chelsea. So
yeah, there's not a really good option.
and not a really, but we have
the Liverpool match is on Saturday.
yeah.
The only thing I would do on the Bears Raiders, especially in London, is under.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that game. I'd bet under. I wouldn't even touch that line. Like honestly, I haven't done this yet. I haven't passed on a game and made a choice. Wouldn't touch it. Saturday or Sunday night or Sunday morning in London. Those games are typily. I bet on a few of those games. They're shit shows as far as.
Well, usually they're mostly one-sided to the team that has adapted better. But I don't think that either one of these teams adapt better.
Yeah. All right, next game we have the Arizona Cardinals at Cincinnati Bengals.
Ugh.
-3 for the Bengals. Over-under is set at 47.5. I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm looking at these lines. Overall, I don't like any of them,
This
really.
is the race to the third pick.
Well, no, I'm just about all the first 3 games that we've gone through. I don't actually really like any of them.
What was the over-under on this?
47.5.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
I mean,
Neither team can play defense, though.
yeah, Pittsburgh put up 27 on the Bengals, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they didn't even throw the ball down the field, just sideways.
So
Yeah, I think Arizona. I think
Arizona,
I think will get.
I kind of like Arizona in this
because
game.
I think the Cincinnati
They
guys
can
are.
score.
Yeah, Arizona. I think it'll be Arizona, and I think the Cincinnati guys are looking around and it's like, do you want to get hurt for this?
Oh, wait, no,
do you want to get hurt for this?
So not only is AJ Green out, John Ross, the third one out.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally,
So,
Phoenix, Arizona.
I just had to cut him.
Totally
I'll lean Arizona. That's another game I want nothing to do with. But, going to head again, I will lean Arizona because I've watched more Cincy football than anybody should for not even being a Cincy
I like the over
fan.
on it, though, at least.
So here's one thing that you're going to get here at this podcast that you're not going to get other ones. So John likes the over. We just talked about Ross being hurt. So where are the points going to come from? So here's where I'm going to derive if you do like the over, and I would actually look into the Cardinals team total over because my question would be where are the points going to come from Cincy?
Sure.
It'll be Arizona and piling them on.
Probably Kyler Murray throws a pick, they get a field goal.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a possibility as well, especially with him out there.
But I think it's only a field goal. They're not going to get the whole 7 out of it.
No, but Arizona could score 30.
Yeah, they could score 30.
And I think, Cincinnati, Mixon's
Fitzgerald's better than anybody.
Mixon's having a good
Cincinnati has on
season.
defense.
And
David Johnson's still alive.
I was going to skip to the next game because, fuck that.
This will be the game where Murray gets the 60-yard touchdown.
We do have
run.
games we like on here, guys. Just the first.
We just
couple
haven't
games.
got
No, go in order. Go in order.
Well, no,
Just always
Jags,
go in order.
3.5 plus 3.5 at Carolina.
Whatever
Over under is set at 41.
I was about to say I don't care. Whatever it is, the under.
I like the under on that game. I like Carolina. They've actually,
Kyle Allen mania keeps on rolling.
but
Minshew's going to stump that into the ground.
I
Jalen Ramsey is going to take it as a personal affront if he plays. That it's like, no, you're not
Do we
going to
know the
beat
status
me.
on him?
I think Khan said he doesn't want to trade him. So
He wants to pay him,
Yeah.
and he has the money to pay him.
Oh no! Now that you kind of mentioned what you just said with Ramsey and O'Shea.
Honestly, Khan is a much better understanding of letting people in charge to have the skill to run things. But I think he would be very Jerry Jones-like in the sense that it's like, no, I'll keep the player and get rid of the coaches.
I personally, Kyle Allen, he had 3 or 4 fumbles this past game. 3.
A friend of mine was talking about I guess he's got small hands for a quarterback or something.
Apparently, he had 3 fumbles. I think he lost all 3. No picks, but no touchdowns either. He didn't have a great game, but
well, I mean, this is was it Carolina's a top 3-4 defense? I know they're in the top 5.
their defense has been
Fantastic.
fantastic this year.
The difference is Kyle Allen will at least get you 1 or 2 first downs so you can punt, and the other offense actually has to drive.
Go further,
at the Panthers defense, which is very hard. Even
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson couldn't do it.
Yeah, Deshaun looked like he looked very erratic in that backfield. He also lead the league.
He didn't look erratic. He looked like he was getting hit all the
Well,
time.
How about Kyle Allen getting away from J.J. Watt, safe in your own ass?
we lead the league in sacks. So I mean, it's
well, I mean, it's been a benefit. You've played who are the teams? What Texans who can't block
you
anybody?
can't block anyone. the Rams,
with the league leader in turnovers, Jared Goff.
Who hasn't had a good season
the
at
Bucks,
all.
Winston,
And they don't have a good offensive line.
no.
So I mean, the good thing about that is that you're taking advantage of the teams that are worse.
This is true.
So I mean, it's a bloated stat, but it's bloated the way that it should be bloated.
This is what, week 5? I don't like
Yep.
any of these lines.
You know,
Just generally what happened around this time of the year.
Weeks 5 through 9 are the ones you're like, we don't know who these teams are.
Yeah, no. Well, last week I guessed correctly that some of these lines are too good to be true. I still went against my gut, and if I had been a betting man last week, I would have had my ass handed to me.
That explains everything about your life.
Kind of. Yeah,
It's way harder to predict the outcome of 2 bad teams and 2 really good teams.
Yes.
It's such a crapshoot with 2 shitty teams.
Well, yeah. See, Carolina's defense is amazing. I think they carry them over. I like Carolina minus 3.5, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Jacksonville actually win this game.
No, not at all.
Because Minshew actually outplays Kyle Allen.
I think Jacksonville believes in Minshew more than Carolina believes in Kyle Allen as the teams, not as fan bases.
And also, as far as running back matchups go, are they going to pound Fournette against our line, or
you have to? Though.
Yeah, you kind of have to. But I think
okay, definitely under.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally under.
Under might be the only play in this game I actually like personally.
Now you guys are worrying me. So I made an official play last night on under 41. So that is an official play on me under 41. Panthers, Jacksonville.
The score could be 13-10.
And you guys just said it.
17-14 might be
Yeah.
Or I think
unless Allen has a game like his first game where he just throws touchdowns.
But that was
that's why I can see a
But I guess Ramsey
game too. Either way, I think this game is either going to be very, very close, or I think one team's blown the other one out. I don't see a lot of middle.
I think it's just going to be very, very close because they're not going to score a lot.
But even if it's a blowout, it could be 21-3.
I can see, but you think Greg Olson's he's been utilizing Greg Olson a lot. I see a lot of Greg Olson, a lot of Samuels, and a lot of CMC in this game being utilized, while Moore gets kind of held up by Ramsey.
Well, that's the thing is that if Jacksonville has the ability to one-on-one the outside wide receivers and then clog up the middle for Olsen, and they're gonna focus.
It's gonna open up wide up on McCaffrey. So I mean,
for out in the
it's gonna be a matchup issue, but we'll see what happens. I'll go ahead and put it out there. I like Carolina and the under. All right, guys.
Official bet for me under 41.
Under 41. All right, next game we have the Minnesota Vikings at the New York Giants.
That team's imploding.
I want to hit this one last because I have a very strong
the Vikings. Yeah.
So I want y'all to go first. My play of the week, actually, which the last 2 weeks I'm 2-0, up 4 units, $100 better. You're up $400 my play of the week. So I want y'all to talk about this one. And I'll close this one out.
So I'm just gonna say I'm notorious for only listening to the matchup and not for the numbers. What were the numbers on this?
I didn't put them out yet. Okay. The Vikings are 4.5-point favorites in New York.
Oof.
It looks like Saquon Barkley is a go.
I would not.
I would not play him against Minnesota.
I would not, but I mean, it looks like he might get some playing time with the footage that they're putting out there.
He is so, and this is what I was saying. He's so excited to see that Dwayne Gallman got over 100 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns, playing with a good quarterback. That he's imagining he's going to get 180 and like 3 or 4 touchdowns, and he probably will.
220 and 4. Total yards 220.
The fact that could take a safety out of the box against him. I don't. The Giants. Their offense is much better, but I still don't see them stopping Dalvin Cook if he can run the ball, which they're going to have him run the ball.
But they stacked the line and dared Cousins to throw the ball. How is the likelihood of him? Cousins has been that bad.
But this is one of the teams that he knows how to beat.
I get that, but he's been that bad. This is a team that he's been for his career.
What time is this game?
Big.
It's 1 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, no. Minnesota.
Minnesota. 4 o'clock games.
Minnesota.
All right, can I get 30 seconds to cap this game real quick? This is what you're only find on Simon Says Bet right here. I am going with play of the week, Minnesota Vikings minus 4.5, and here's why. The line is not, in my opinion, adjusted since Saquon's gone out. Now, Saquon may or may not play. If he does play, how effective is he going to be? So what just happened? The Giants beat Tampa Bay. The Giants beat the Redskins. Both of them are in the bottom half of the league in defense. So I am betting on the Vikings defense. Daniel Jones has not seen a defense like this. I think this line would be a little bit higher, and that's why I like that. The line's actually dropped, so I'm going against sharp money. Now, with that being said, there's still plenty of time for buyback on that, but there's my 30 seconds. Oh, so I like, Cousins, yes, there's a question mark there, but they have too much offensive firepower to where the defense, if they control the game, keep Daniel Jones, even if it's a 14-3 game, a 10-3 game, 21-17, well, obviously that would not work, but a 21-14, I like the Vikings. That is my play of the week, minus 4.5. Take it to the bank.
And with that said, I like the Giants at plus 4.5.
Crossfire.
I'm just
it's
saying,
the defense. He hasn't seen the defense.
I-
Shot on
you know
this
what?
game. Put a shot on it.
I don't have much. I don't have really much faith on the Vikings, so I don't have any faith in Kirk Cousins. I like. Don't get me wrong.
In the betting world, we call this buying low. Buying low.
Thielen and Diggs. If Thielen and Diggs hadn't come out and been like, "Yo, dude,
Cooks,
fuck this
Rudolph.
But they've done that.
Rudolph hasn't done shit.
Zimmer
Look
is
hold
the
on.
second most winning
Rudolph has
coach.
2 catches for the year.
But here's the
right
thing:
now.
Thielen
Zimmer-
and Diggs were opposite weeks. Diggs was bitching, and then he got 8 passes for 100-something yards. Then Thielen bitched. They just want to see the ball. If they each get 4 catches and whatever and something, Minnesota's a much better team.
Since 2012, Zimmer is the second most winning ATS coach out there, and you guys know who number 1 is.
Bill.
Yes, exactly.
That's all he's
So
always
he's
said.
second at hitting over 60%, or right at 60%. So to me, this is more value than anything, and it's a buy low opportunity. And I'm buying low on the Vikings.
The Kirk Cousins hate it's way too soon. It's early in the year. The guy had a career high in completion percentage last year. Threw for 4,200 yards,
Doesn't matter.
30 touchdowns,
The
10 picks.
coaches
Preach,
don't
Josh,
want
preach.
to. The coaches don't want him throwing the ball this year. They literally came out and said, "We are going to be a run-heavy offense."
but that's what
and
Zimmer
that's what
is.
they've been so
He's
far.
been that.
And then Cook's going to get hurt eventually, and then Kirk Cousins is going to throw 4,000 yards again. It's going to happen.
That might happen. But all right, let's go ahead and skip to the next game, guys. We have New England Patriots up against the Washington Redskins in Washington.
Oh, boy.
Whoa, hold on. And
Dwayne Haskins is starting, I do believe.
I don't care what the spread is. Gruden knows he's getting fired on Monday and hasn't even put a game plan together. Bet the damn Patriots. I don't care
Gruden's
what
not
the
getting
spread
fired.
is.
He got 10. Oh, Gruden. Okay.
Jay Gruden.
Wrong one.
No,
Yeah.
he'll be working in Oakland next week.
Yeah, he will.
He will be. I like the Pats at minus 15.
Yeah, no, blowout city.
What's the over under?
Only 42.
Oh yeah.
The Patriots score 42?
Yes. Well, here's the statistic that everybody needs. What first time starting quarterbacks versus the New England Patriots? Like it's like 0 for whatever number that you put on the right side.
Do we even know Haskins is starting? Gruden came out and made a joke and said, "Down, figure it out Sunday."
I'm pretty sure he started.
I think this is he did come into play last week, so it's
they brought him
unlikely
in
he'll go
finally at
back.
the end. He didn't have a. He
Well, it
didn't
was
actually
even
look
earlier. It was
very
like the
good.
second quarter too.
He didn't look very
He
good,
had
but
3 picks.
he came
And
in.
it was the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going
Welcome
to
to the
go
league.
first half New England minus 9. Stevie B, he talked me through that great handicap on the game, so credit where it's due. I'm actually tailing him on that, but that would be my suggested pick. And here's kind of the thought process is, they get up early, they get going. Is Belichick going to keep his foot on the gas is my only question.
He always does.
He never
Yes,
lets
but
off.
never lets
the
off.
numbers, but the numbers ATS in the second half, I don't have them with me. There's a lot less, there's more game management. Yes, he keeps his foot on the pedal, but is he...
It was literally the
still-
game against Washington and Joe Gibbs when he ran up 50-something points that they asked, "Why don't you do this? This is professional football."
And regardless, I like the first half minus 9.
I like that first half play, but overall, I like New England at minus 15.
So, yeah, I got a lot of bang for your
this
buck right
discussion, this discussion reinforces the Minnesota play for me because there's no way the Giants fans can laugh at the racial slurs when Haskins throws 3 interceptions because they think they got a quarterback and then Jones plays well this week. Not going to happen. They're going to be brought down to earth and people are going to point back.
Yeah. Well, I don't agree.
He may be better, but he's not going to play well this
So
week.
of the quarterback replacements that are getting all the hype, Minshew, Allen, and Jones, who's the best quarterback? Is it Minshew?
I think long term he will be.
I think long term might be Jones.
I gotta go Jones.
I think Jones is looking really good.
He's in a situation.
But he's in
we
New
just
York.
said, though, with the Washington and Tampa, y'all, he's played bad defense.
He's not
so
throwing to
far.
anyone though, and
You see what division he's in? He's going to play a lot of bad defense.
Cowboys is not a terrible defense.
No, but the Eagles are having a real down year.
They just beat the Packers in Thursday Night Football.
The score was in the 30s.
And again,
both teams.
Fair
and again,
enough.
that was the
Fair
first
enough.
time
Good
either
point.
one of those teams played a
And-
real quarterback.
Which, by the way, I'm the only one who picked that game correctly. Thank you.
you are. And also on top of that,
Credit where it's due.
the Packers had a shot to win that game at the very end. So and
It's Aaron Rodgers always does.
Rodgers farved it, and well, he threw a gunsling, and
No,
that
he
happens.
didn't. We know what he did.
Well, no.
He went Super Bowl on him.
Yeah, he did. All right, guys, next game, we have the New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are favored at 14.5 points.
No, you said the Giants. It's the Jets.
Oh, no, excuse me, Jets. New York Jets at the Philadelphia Eagles, 14.5 points. Over under set of 43.5. I don't like this game.
I go over.
want
I don't like the
nothing to do with
spread.
it.
Darnold's a maybe, right?
Darnold's a maybe. I like the over on this game. That's about it.
What is it again?
43.5.
Ah.
I like the over.
Well, yeah, if the Eagles put up 34 on the frickin' Packers, you got to think they're coming with 30 again.
Yeah, and I genuinely think.
But I don't. But if Darnold don't play, the Jets ain't scoring 10.
Now, what's up with Mosley? We know.
Well, even if he plays, he's going to be so.
How
much weight would he have lost?
I don't know.
Well, he had.
And he's been inert. It's not like he could work out or anything. He can't do anything.
This is why you don't kiss your lineman in the huddle, fellas.
No makeout sessions with your offensive tackle.
Celebrate at the end of the season.
Actually, no. If he got mono for one of his offensive linemen, it's definitely a guard.
I could just imagine.
Why
Tom,
a guard? I need elaboration.
I could just imagine Tom Brady saying, "That's why I got my kid vaccinated."
So it's looking like C.J. Mosley will not play, and here's the reason I want to look that up is because once again, I have to.
Okay,
so to build off of John's over, that's another scenario where I may look into, depending on Darnold, is looking at the Eagles team total and going over on that as well, because once again, I don't have Mosley. Where are the points going to come from the Jets? Now, that is dependent on whether or not Darnold plays, so that is not an official play or anything for me, just something I would look into when I'm worried about where the points are going to come from one side. I look into the team I know that's going to score and look to see what their team total is, and then do the research off of that.
Le'Veon's good for a touchdown. Who else is? Not really. Nobody.
So really, okay. Next.
I mean, if the Eagles are around 24, I mean, I don't know.
All right, guys. Next line. Honestly, this one's actually pretty interesting to me. We had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. Anybody want to guess the line?
That's so tough.
I already know the line, so I'm not going to say anything.
You guys, either one of you two, like to guess the line on this?
Who's home? Who's home?
It's New Orleans Saints.
3.
6.
Jerry, you are on the nose.
I'm saying it's a pick 'em.
Wow.
-3 pick 'em. The over/under is set at 46.5. Now I'm going to say
faith in the Bucs.
my official play of the week is the over on this game.
Whoa, we need quiet here. What was that, John?
My official play of the week is going to be the over on this game.
Official.
What is it? What's the over?
46.5.
The Saints haven't been, unless they get some defensive touchdowns, they're not really
Yeah,
scoring.
but the Buccaneers have been putting up stupid points against almost everyone they're playing this year.
They have, but they also have a monster pass rush.
They do, and yeah, I'm saying they can put up 46
again,
points. And the way they've been coaching this year, they're not taking the foot off the fucking brakes this year.
The only time Bridgewater's gone, the Saints scored over 20 points is because they had like 2 non-offensive touchdowns.
Can we remember the point last week when I said that Ndamukong Suh would not let the Rams do anything last week? Apparently, he decided no.
So, a fun stat I have here to kind of help John on his over pick. Once again, I hate to sound like a broken record with these damn team totals, but I looked into this game last night as well because I lean that way. It's not an official play, but I lean that way. The last 7 games Tampa has played in New Orleans, New Orleans has scored 30 or more 6 of those 7 games. Now, those were with Breeze, but,
Bridgewater has been actually pretty good. Since
he is a
since
good
he came
quarterback.
in.
He is a good
quarterback.
Well, there's a reason why he's the highest paid backup in the league.
On that one,
They gave him big money to be the backup.
How many points did they score against the Cowboys?
The Saints?
It was not a lot.
Yeah, it was like 12 or 13.
I'd be okay with
Field
going
goals,
full
wasn't
game over on that one. I'll lean with John
And then
as
they
well.
had 9 points against the Rams. And the only reason they broke 20 against the Seahawks is because they had 2 non-offensive touchdowns.
The interesting things about Tampa, one, since I think the beginning of last year, they're a top 3 NFL passing offense, and they've only gotten better this year because Arians is with them, which is making Winston look tremendous. I do like. I like Tampa scoring a lot of points. I don't know that the Saints can, and their defense is a little
good. Though, is it not,
it's. I mean, yeah,
I could definitely see a defensive touchdown.
yeah. I mean,
There's bets for that. There's bets for that.
There's bets for everything, Josh.
I just say it's like I think the Rams cost themselves a Super Bowl in the next 5 years by choosing Goff over Ndamukong Suh. You pair Ndamukong Suh with Donald.
Donald, who only has 2 sacks and like 3 quarterback rushes.
You put the
this time of year.
Did he get both sacks last game?
But he starts off slow.
He does typically. At this point last year, he had the same. He had 2 sacks and he finished the season with 20 and a half.
But if you had the 2 of them in the front, they're not losing that Seattle game. They're not losing the Tampa game. They're not losing those other games, and they can just get to the playoffs. And then once they're in everything there, I think if you had kept Sue and Aaron Donald together, you would have.
But then there's that one guy in the Buccaneers that has what, like 9.5, 12.5 sacks.
He had 8.5 sacks before the last game
Yeah,
they just played.
I think he has 12 sacks right now.
9 now.
But again, that was against the Rams, who have not been able to protect their quarterback.
Yeah.
Against Carolina, who can't protect their quarterback.
Well, I mean, and when you're running 68 pass plays, you're going to get sacked.
You're going to get sacked.
Like, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
you're
The
gonna get
amount of
sacked.
pass attempts the Rams have a game is comical.
It is.
Y'all, time out real quick. This feels good. It's been a while since I've been back in the
Dude,
same
he
building.
threw
This
six-
feels
and he-
good.
Gurley
I like
looks
this.
healthy. I don't know why they're giving
He scored 2 touchdowns the past 2 games.
I will say there was one play in the backfield. I was looking at him last night when the game first started, and he did look uncomfortable in that backfield. before
He's
the play.
upset.
He looks uncomfortable
And I
because
mean,
he's
his
angry.
body
Yeah.
language. His body language
Yeah,
did
but
not
he's not
look
getting the ball.
as.
He's producing when he gets the ball, though.
He only was averaging 3.5 yards a carry
Yeah, but
last
dude,
night.
Goff-
So those are not Gurley-esque numbers.
they're not.
Goff threw 68 passes, had 3 days of rest, and then threw 50. His arm's going to fall off.
But the other thing is McVay is not
My
adapting
shoulder hurts just
and
thinking about
running
that.
when he sees the 6-man fronts run right between the guards, because if you do that and you break through the line, you're past half the defense. And I'll take Gurley one-on-one with secondary from any play you got, but they're not adapting to the defensive fronts that are playing them, which is shocking.
Right.
But back to this game, I think Tampa can score a lot of points. I don't know that New Orleans can. It's interesting that it's a pick 'em. This is the game where they're telling you, they're setting you up to choose things.
I don't know, man. I think if New Orleans can shut down Dallas, I think they I think they can hold the Bucks to about 21.
And again, this is
don't think
is
so.
the home game they lost last year at the beginning of the season. This is the one that they want.
This Tampa team inside a dome.
What is everybody 2-2 in the in South? What is the records of teams in the South?
What's Mike?
Yes.
Mike Evans got Marshawn Lattimore to deal with this weekend.
Yeah.
So that'll be the first great corner he's had on him probably this season.
He still has.
Aqib Talib was all right.
One-on-one is still open because he's 8 inches taller than
Yeah,
him.
Evans is 6'5", and can run a 4.3. He's fine.
No, he can't. No, he can't. He doesn't run a 4.3.
He doesn't. But it doesn't matter. He's
no, he
he's
doesn't.
6'5". That's
Yeah,
what
he's
matters.
6'5", but he still runs.
OBJ runs a 4.4. He does not run a 4.3.
He probably runs about a 4.4 then. All right, so
4.5.
All right, let's go. All right, let's
Maybe
look.
6.
We're gonna look that up, guys. Go ahead and start making your plays as I look up his 40 time.
The one from his pro day don't count. Those are inflated.
What is this? 40 something? Ugh. I think New Orleans wins. I think it's under.
starting
I
to
think
lean
it's
that
under.
way.
It's under. I'm telling you, that defense is legit.
But do you think it's a letdown spot after such an emotional? I mean, I know it's a divisional game, so of course you're always going to get up for those. But do you think it's a potential letdown spot after beating Dallas?
Look, I don't think for New Orleans, because if Tampa won at New Orleans and was that one loss at the beginning of the season, which cost them things later on. So I think that's on their mind, that we want to get back at them. But more so than that is Jameis Winston has shown a complete and utter inability to maintain a levelness.
Mm-hmm.
He has a big game. He's like, oh, good, we can beat the world. It's like, no, you're not actually that good. You have to always do the work. And I don't, regardless of, Arians will give him the opportunity to do it, but I don't think that he's that consistent yet. And Arians is going to have him throw all the time because he needs to find out this season whether they're going to keep him or not.
Bridgewater's playing for a job somewhere else next year too.
All right, so Evans ran a 4.5.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
Big as he is?
He's 6'5", 235 though. That's a pretty impressive
big
40
part,
time. Yeah. All right, guys. So I like the Buccaneers.
Under Saints.
I like the Buccaneers and the over. So that's for me.
Under Saints.
Lean Saints for me.
All right, guys. So everyone's against me. Fuck all of you. All right, next game.
Same.
Yeah, I know.
Like last time everyone was against me, I won.
Yep. So I like Buccaneers. I have faith in that offense. I have faith in that defense. And I despite the fact I love Teddy Bridgewater, and I do like him.
Well, it's Sue is, and
I have a soft
Sue
spot
is
for him.
such a difference
He has a
maker.
soft spot too. It's his knee.
Damn. All right, guys. Atlanta Falcons at Houston Texans. The line is -5 at Texans. I don't like this game at all.
Over under.
Over under set of 48.5. Yeah, I don't like this game. Period.
After I saw Atlanta get manhandled by fucking Tennessee,
Bro, that game was brutal. I
Texans
watched that
and
game
over.
with Flanny. I thought Flanny was going to
Texans
throw his
over.
TV out it.
I don't like either team. Personally.
Every team in the South is 8-8, so they got to like alternate or whatever.
I don't either, but gun to head, I'm going Falcons +5 with zero confidence. But
Gun ahead, I like the Houston Texans, and I like the under in this game. I don't know. I mean,
what is it?
it's set at 48.5.
That's high.
Yeah.
And I mean, what Houston Texans only scored how many points last week? Like
That Panthers defense
I
is
was gonna say
unreal.
that I
man.
think
that Panthers
says more
defense
about
is
their
unreal,
defense.
but like
It's the Patriots, and then who's next? It might be like Carolina's up there.
Yeah, no, they're up there.
They're in the
and
top
you
three.
look at the other top 5 teams, and it's because who they
Jacksonville,
played.
no,
Buffalo was
and
up there,
Minnesota.
but Buffalo dropped after the Patriots game. Not a lot, but
we've played.
played the Rams as the best.
We've
team.
played some
Tampa.
fairly decent offensive teams, and we're
Well,
there.
I mean, that's the thing is, regardless of how few points that they gave up to the Texans, Deshaun Watson still moved the ball on them. They just stood up when they needed
Look what
to.
Carolina's Panthers. Look what they made Jameis Winston look like, and then he just lights up the Rams.
Just lights them up.
all right, so guys, I like the Texans and the under on this game.
Over Texans.
Okay,
Texans under
Falcons +5.
All right.
No confidence.
none.
All right, Denver Broncos at Chargers. 6.5
Chargers.
points for the Chargers.
Over.
I like the Chargers and the
Everything.
Everything.
Chargers over.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. Once again, zero confidence. I will take my Denver Broncos plus the points.
I think Chargers beat
With no
beat the
confidence.
spread,
Are
just
you
like they did
doing
last
that?
week.
Are you doing that as a homer
No,
or
because I don't like. I'm not selling the Chargers yet. It's. I think
the game
that's
is
a
in
divisional
LA?
game.
They have no home. They have no home field advantage.
Exactly, and that's.
But
I like the
they
points.
played great
not-
on the road.
I like the points, not the team here. That's why I said zero confidence. I wouldn't suggest anybody make this play. I'm not sold on the Chargers yet. That's the thing.
I'm just happy I don't have to watch the Dolphins play
Denver's
this week.
been into every game. I've watched.
How is
every
this
game,
not
but
the
we've-
night game? All right, sorry guys. We're just going.
The Levitard show said last week is Phillip Rivers will have the ball for the last possession, needing a score to win the game, and the Chargers would get it and still cover. And it's more or less what happened because it was close into the second half,
We
wasn't
always
it?
play the Chargers close, so that's the thing. So it's more like I said.
They're,
it's
what
not
have I said? They're an
suggesting.
8-8 team. They're always an 8-8 team. One year they're like 10-6, and the next year they're 6-10. It's like they're
8-8.
They're 8-8.
That's his one.
No matter how talented that roster is, and even when they're best team ever, they'll end up playing the Patriots in the playoffs and the doors blown off.
And that's why I said before the season started, I like the under on their wins total. All right, guys, we have the Green Bay Packers at Dallas Cowboys. How this game is not the Sunday night game is beyond me. They obviously wish they had flex scheduling, but right now the Cowboys are
doesn't
favored
kick
at
in until like week 10.
Week 10, yeah, I know. So right now the Cowboys are favored at -3. The over/under set at 47. I like the Packers and the over.
It wouldn't
Is
matter.
Adams playing?
That's why I can't make a play yet because I
If
don't
Adams
know that
isn't
answer.
playing,
I don't know that
the
answer.
Packers can't win that game.
I agree.
And
I agree.
Flex wouldn't matter because Fox would have first choice.
I like well the name Geronimo and also Scantling. They're pretty good. And then
They are, but
Dallas got a good
I'm
defense.
telling you, when I was
Jimmy Graham, even though he dropped a few balls last week in the end zone, they have a good offense without Devontae
No, I'm
Adams.
telling you, I picked the Packers a week and a half ago.
And Jones is looking good.
But I'm telling you, without Adams, that's a
I
tall
can't wait
order.
to watch this game.
That is a
Everything
tall
aside,
order.
this is the game I'm most looking
Oh,
forward to this week.
I'm gonna watch shit out of it and not bet on it.
I mean, this is their first real quarterback Dallas has faced.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, there's a chance like they might get
I
carved
will.
up.
I don't have a play right now, but follow us on Facebook, follow us
What's
on
the over-under?
Twitter,
47.
and I'll more than
Under.
likely have a play by the time we figure out what's going on with
I
Devontae
don't
Adams.
just without Adams or not. I actually like the Packers at +3.
So here's one thing I
47.
will
27-21 Green Bay.
Yeah.
If you like the Cowboys, I would. And here's we're gambling, so there's a game. If you like the Cowboys, I would take them now because I think if Devontae Adams does play, that line could adjust. Now it may only be a half a point, but when you're sitting at a key number like 3, the juice is heavier to buy from 3.5 to 3. 2.5 to 3, the juice is heavier than it's just going from 4 to 4.5. So you're paying a lot more with that. So if you do like the Cowboys, I would suggest that bet now.
Yeah, and honestly, it's right now currently set at -3. No, I mean, it's a pick 'em because they're in Dallas. They're getting 3 points for being at home. I like the Green Bay Packers. I think this is gonna be a game. Rodgers, after what happened last Thursday, is gonna come out.
I agree.
I think he's gonna have. I think he's gonna have.
lost too.
But the way Rodgers lost last week,
It's heartbreaking.
heartbreaking. Rodgers always likes to bounce back with a stupid game, and I think the Cowboys'
That's
defense
his
is overrated.
first interception in his career from 3 yards and in.
Yeah, he's gonna come back. And I said this. He's gonna come out. I said last week he was gonna have an offensive amazing game. Aside from that pick, he did. He's gonna bounce back with a 300+ 4 TD game, even without Devontae Adams.
The biggest thing that last game with Philadelphia and Green Bay told us is that neither the Eagles or Green Bay actually have real defenses because the first time they played, they each faced a real quarterback that got carved up.
Yep. All right, guys. So who do you like? Who'd you say?
Man, I picked the Packers a week and a half ago before Adams got hurt. If Adams plays, I got 27-21 Green Bay.
I like the under. I don't know about who.
Yeah.
I like the over.
Over, it's 48. Is he over?
47. I don't think either.
Ooh, fuck, that's right where I'm at.
Yeah.
I don't really think
Push.
either defense can play.
I can't do anything official until I know Devontae, but if I have to make a pick today, I would go Cowboys lay the points on.
And here we go again. Our next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts and a too good to be true line at Kansas City Chiefs at -11.
I have a bet on this game, -7 Kansas City Chiefs first half. That is a bet, official play for me. Chiefs -7 first half.
I like that play more than I like the -11. I mean, last week Mahomes. Granted, last week was the first time. Only one of the first times he's thrown no TDs.
Oh, he was actually about to tie.
That was
the
against
record.
Detroit.
He was about to tie the record for most multiple TD games in a row or something like that.
Yeah,
Peyton Manning's
Detroit was the first game that he hasn't ever thrown a
And
touchdown.
now, how about Detroit guys? I mean, we were talking about pretender or contender.
I still think they're a pretender, but
yeah, but they
their-
played very
their
well
defense is
against the
showing
Chiefs.
up. Their defense is showing up better than I would have expected.
Gun to my head, I'm going to say I like the Chiefs at -11. I think Mahomes comes back and bounces back and has another one of those multiple touchdown games.
What is Detroit? 2-1-1?
Something like that.
Yeah. Ugh. And then, I mean, was what? Jacoby Brissett, and also, isn't the Colts running back?
This was supposed to be
pretty
a good
unhealthy.
Sunday night game
Marlon Mack is
for all the
always unhealthy.
injuries.
Marlon Mack is kind of unhealthy, kind of on the fence.
Is this in Indianapolis?
It's in Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City.
Mac has been
That
questionable for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, the over-under on this game is set at 56.
Over. No, I don't know. Maybe I got 40 coming from Kansas City.
I mean, Brissett is better than they think.
Oh, Brissett's having a great year, actually.
These others were
Deion Kane is him are starting to get together better. T.Y. Hilton, is he back? Is he healthy for this one?
I think
That's always a thing.
I don't know.
It's up in the air. What I'm
he's
seeing.
been great.
But I think I mean Kansas City can't stop anybody. So I mean I think the Colts are getting at least 20. So I mean if the Kansas City's at 35, that's 55 right there.
You're kind of right.
I got over.
I mean and that's the reason Kansas City scores so many points because
they
their
can't-
defense.
the defense can't stop
I don't
anyone.
trust Indy enough though. Regardless, if
These
they got
Kansas
no
City
Hill,
receivers
if
are
they got,
good.
I can't trust them enough to go over on this game.
I like over. I like over.
I like over.
First half Chiefs -7, official play for me.
I like that play. If gun to my head, I like Kansas City at -11. I like the over, but
It's 11. Yeah. Kansas City and the over.
all right, guys, last game. We have Monday Night Football. The Cleveland Browns at the undefeated San Francisco 49ers.
Y'all are going to be blown away by my pick on this game.
Who's home? Niners?
Niners are home. What do you think the line is?
It's got to be 4 to the 49ers.
Did you look at the line?
Wait.
I don't look at the
Bookmaker,
lines.
call this guy right here. He needs to be making lines for y'all.
Right now, it's set at 4. So
It is at 4 currently.
Yeah, currently, and the over-under is set at 46. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and put out there, I like the Browns.
God, I do too.
I think the Browns are. I think the Browns may have found their stride. They're not. They're actually letting him Baker Mayfield not exactly just do nothing but zero in on ODJ, and he's actually playing really well.
Andrew
After
had 126 yards. At the half
Old
last
dirty
week.
jastard.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Why I said that. I
Don't
know why I
worry, you
said
should have
that.
heard some of the shit I said last night on the pod. Like you have your thought right there, then all of a sudden you can't backtrack once you've done it. So
You got to stick to your convictions.
no, that's an official play for me as much as it hurts. I actually took the Browns plus money. I had them at plus 3.5. Obviously, plus 4 is better, but I like them from anywhere from plus 3 up. I like them. So plus.
If Nick Chubb has more than 12 carries
They
in
win.
the first half, Cleveland wins by 10.
Here's why, real quick, before I sign out. I think
don't think
that
they will.
have better weapons on the Browns right now. I'm still not overly sold on San Francisco. Yeah, you've had some good games, but I think there's
who have they
more
played?
talent on the Browns right now.
Who have the Niners played?
They played Tampa Bay week 1. They've played.
Giants, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm drawing blanks right now.
I'm pulling it up right now.
But I am going to sign off, y'all. This has been great. Follow me on Twitter at Joe to Joe Sports Betting at
think
Cover
Arizona.
704. This has been fun. Let's not wait so long. I want to be on here every week because believe in these guys. We got good picks. We give you guys something else that other pods aren't.
Steelers.
We're fucking awesome. Peace, y'all.
Oh my God! Steelers, Bengals, Buccaneers. The easiest schedule. Wow.
That's why I took the Browns.
Jesus Lord. Yeah. It's
But they've scored points. That's the thing that benefits the 49ers.
24-20 against Pittsburgh. Ugh.
I mean, the reason
But that was with Fitzpatrick, right?
the reason why that meme out there that mimics the movie. What is it? Grown Ups, where you have the two really.
I sent it. Yeah.
Yeah, the two hot-looking daughters, and then you have.
Hope to see y'all somewhere this weekend. Then you go to breakaway tomorrow.
I think so, but I'm not sure. My father's coming. No. My father's coming in town, so.
If there's a thing, John will be there.
No, my dad's in town. He's coming in town this week, so
His dad will go to bed and John will go.
Go.
we'll see what happens.
All right, official pod pick of the week. John makes an appearance at Breakaway Fest.
Minus 300.
I have more faith with Kyle Shanahan and Garoppolo than I do with Freddie Kitchens and Baker Mayfield because Kitchens benefits that offense when they run more, but I feel that he doesn't have the whatever it is that any coach that has been around that has shown that they can win has to tell these quarterbacks and wide receivers, like, do you want to win or do you just want stats? Because if you want to win, this is what we're going to do, and then when they bring up the defense, we'll beat them over the top, and then we'll crush people. But, I mean, Kyle Shanahan got an MVP award for Matt Ryan. He got up, what was it, 28-3? 24-3?
What else? Okay, so
I mean, he's. I have more faith in them carving up Cleveland's defense than Cleveland's offense figuring out a way to beat Not to say they don't have better talent, but just
I think this past
out-scheme
week they kind of figured things out. They know how to run the ball. They know how to. This
is what everybody says in the NFL in the first 5 weeks. Until you see a team do that 2 weeks in a row, doing it the exact same way and beating people, they haven't figured it out. Now this is that game.
It's gonna be that game. I personally think they figured it out. They're going to get Landry more involved. They're going to run the ball a bit more. I think Odell will be involved a lot more than he was last week. And
that'll be. But Baker Mayfield has run out of 60% of the time he's run out of a pocket has been a clean pocket. He's run out of more clean pockets than anybody else, which means he's either impatient for waiting for a play to develop, or worse, he's actually small and he can't see what he's looking for. And again, Odell Beckham Jr. is not a tall receiver.
Nope.
So if you're a short quarterback looking through 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" guys trying to find a short wide receiver crossing over the middle, that's trouble. And running out of getting him in space, Mayfield makes magic happen in space, but that changes the dynamic of the offense and the way the spaces and the windows that are supposed to be open for the receivers when you run one way or the other. And that's why they've been less successful in doing that. It's why that it's been the longest time to adapt to the running quarterback spread offense types of things, because offenses work better when you drop back, you go through your progressions, and then if it's not there, then you make the magic happen, not drop back and then run, because that gums up the offense. Cleveland should win. They have better offensive tools. They have Myles Garrett and Ward in the secondary. They have one, and is Bradley Chubb? Is he out? Is he still hurt? No, he's with Denver.
Denver. He's with
I'm confusing my three Chubbs,
and he's out.
That should be the name.
By the way, Bradley.
Three Chubbs could be the name of this podcast.
The three Chubbs.
It could be actually,
because there's Nick Bradley. Bradley was from North Carolina State. Nick was from Georgia, and there was another one that was a linebacker at Wake Forest, who I think is in the NFL.
All right, guys.
Brandon
I like the
Chubb.
Browns, and I like the under on this game. But
I like the 49ers at home, and again, it's hard for new young team. It's a new coach. It's a young quarterback going on the road. They feel really good with what happened last week, and they're like, oh, we can just do the exact same thing. It's like, no. And this is why the Patriots are so good. This is why Nick Saban in Alabama is so good, is like each week, Monday, you have to start all over again. You can't bring that score from last week's game and start ahead. It's at 0-0. And so I just think that the Browns aren't there yet. They will be, but I don't know that it'll be this season. I mean, they're still like 9-something, but this is a huge game for them, going on the road against an undefeated team. And if they do win, they're absolutely losing next week.
So now that we're done with the football gambling, did you catch any of the Champions League this past week?
It was there was a couple of things. I watched all of the Tottenham. Who was it? Byron. All of that.
That devastation.
All of that.
I turned it off after 4 goals. I was like, all right, I've had enough.
So Tottenham scored 2 goals. Ganabi outscored them by 2. Lewandowski would have gotten a draw against them, and then the rest of the team would have lost only by 1. It was such a beatdown. Tottenham just rolled over and died. Now all the people are asking for transfers out. They're going to be mid-table by the end of this year and the bottom half next year, because unless they spend the money, and that's what happens when you don't bring in new players for like almost 3.5 years.
Yeah, and then, I mean, Liverpool barely pulling one out on the Red Bull, huh?
They were up 3-0 and then choked away the whole, and they got beat. I mean, the goals that Virgil van Dijk got spun around, he actually got his ankles broken on a defensive play. It was like a deke to the line, and he cuts back across, and he just kind of falls over. Whereas one of my friends, whenever that happens in the NBA, he replays it on the screen for us in the control room, and before he says, it's like, hey, guys, want to see a dead body? And it's,
that's funny.
And he just falls over like a tree.
That's actually very funny.
He did it to Frank. Frank got crossed over at the 3-point line and just fell toward the sideline. And it's like, hey, guys, want to see a dead body? Oof.
I'm actually, I'm really concerned about Real Madrid this year on getting out of the Champions League's first fucking round of play. They tied again.
They need players. And the weird thing, and this is what I've been telling you, and yes, Real and Barcelona are the preeminent teams for the longest period of time, but not. It's a cultural change. Towards, yes, the Spanish-speaking players still want to end up there because it's a better place to play and everything, the money. But most of the bulk of the regular European players is like they'll be happy to take cash checks and win games in Paris or in Germany or in England.
I think this year's. I think it's PSG or Juventus is the year to lose.
Juventus.
Juventus. It's a morning. It's a morning.
It's Dr. Seuss's favorite team, Juventus.
Yeah, I think it's Juventus or PSG's to lose this year. I don't see any German or English or Spanish clubs doing that well this year, but
Well, the thing is,
see what happens.
Liverpool is like they're doing this, and they're trying to figure out their rotations because most of their starting 11 this week was their starting 11 in the EPL. But if they get into the eliminations with the home and home, they'll stack up because they can score goals.
Yeah,
they can score goals, and they have a better system for that. The issue with them in the Champions League is since they won it last year and they won the finals the year before, their real goal is to win the league. And so they may put more focus on that and less on the Champions League. The bigger thing is Man City, who's going to try and put more effort in the Champions League than the league because that's the one that they want to get. It's like last year, Liverpool and Man City each won the title the other one wanted.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
We haven't talked about any college football.
College football
It's
is something
it's starting to shape
starting
up
to
a little
matter
bit.
now.
Yeah, it's getting big.
And one thing is can we say that there is no better recruiter of quarterbacks than Kirby Smart? He's got the starter at Georgia, the starter
Ohio
at
State, right?
Ohio State, and the starter at Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of them are like playing well,
Yeah. They're all
like
tearing
really
up.
well.
Who is?
Oh, and was
who
it
is
J-
your Heisman front runner this year?
It's always going to be the Oklahoma quarterback till it's not.
Tua is slaughtering right now.
Tua is, but the thing is, it's like
No
none of
turnovers.
None of this matters because he plays LSU, he plays Auburn, and then and that'll decide what happens.
Yeah, the SEC is a murderer's row this year. 5 teams in the top 10. We have number 10 undefeated Florida playing number 7 undefeated Auburn this week.
It always happens though because what was it like 3 or 4 years ago when the first BCS poll or the playoff poll came out and there were 3 SEC teams and Mississippi and Mississippi State were 2 of the 4 and then Mississippi got immediately punched in the face and basically fell apart the rest of that one and Mississippi State lost at Alabama and that was more or less the end of them.
Well, that was the Dak Prescott year, wasn't it?
When he was there.
Clemson survived a heartbreaker this past week. Oh man.
Well, for North Carolina, it was a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
But this goes back to the Belichick and Saban and Swinney does this a lot. Is that when they come into camp, it's like we've got to reinstall the program. We do everything and this is what John Wooden did. It's like the very first thing I teach you at the very first practice, the very first season is how to put your socks on. Because if you get blisters on your feet, then that's your foundation. You can't do anything else. And to start to go. And Swinney ripped into the fans last year when they were like, why didn't you beat South Carolina by more? And it's like, if you're going to be upset that we won by not enough, then I'm just going to leave. Our job is to win games, whether it's by 1 or 100. And it's like, yes, that's it. That's all that matters. And sure, in comparison to other teams, it wasn't as pretty and whatever, and they dropped to number 2, and that's fine. But at the end of the season, if they're undefeated and they win an ACC, they're in.
All that matters is your top 4 right now.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
And what was it? Bama was down like 10-7, ended up winning by like fucking 35.
Was it the Citadel? They were trailing the Citadel in the second half last year?
Last year, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think who was it? Was it Ole Miss that Bama was
Yes,
struggling
yeah.
with? And their number 2 receiver set the Bama record for receiving yards in a game,
Beating Julio Jones and Amari Cooper's record.
Like, what do you have? 296 yards or something like
That's
that?
like 286, 287, some ridiculous number. And mind you, and again, you pointed out it's like
Their number 2 receiver.
the number 2 receiver. The number 1 receiver is going to be a top 5 pick.
Judy, yeah. Shit, people are talking about him going number 1. I'm like,
It depends on who it is.
Yeah, sorry guys. Not much college football talk for me right now. I was actually not watching college football this past Saturday. I went and saw Elizabeth Warren.
it's all right. I've never watched soccer ever.
Well,
Fair enough.
The thing is the interesting thing is that the West in the Big Ten might have. I mean, everybody obviously looks at it's going to be Wisconsin, but Iowa's starting off pretty strong. That game's coming up pretty soon, and that'll determine that. But it's always funny. It's like, the SEC, and it's like they're going to get. It's like no, because all of those teams play each other.
All those Big Ten teams that aren't Ohio State are like the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other.
Yeah, it's Wisconsin's the only one. And they'll give Ohio State like a first half kind of interesting game, and then they just can't score enough points. And by then, Justin Fields will have had 12 games figuring out everything where he needs to be and what to do and everything he can. And he already started off hot. The Jalen Hurts thing
Ohio State has Michigan State this week, a real game.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is fantastic, and that'll be defense. It'll be close for the first half.
Yep.
But Michigan State can't score points.
No.
Going back to Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma, to where Oklahoma might be 3 consecutive Heisman Trophy winners, is one, he's not going to have a game to where he gets slowed down, and Texas is the only game, and that's coming up like in the next week or 2.
LSU put up 40 on him.
And if he has
yards.
he has like 300, 400 yards of offense against Texas and they win that game, he's going to be the front runner. Again, if Tua goes undefeated, averaging more than 300 yards passing through the schedule, he'll do.
And another 42 touchdowns.
I mean, it's funny that they're talking about LSU's quarterback. It's like, no. No, because even if they do go undefeated, he's not going to put up those numbers.
Well, Tua was the front runner last year up until he wasn't. Basically, at the very end.
Well, up until you realized he's exceptional. He can do really skilled things. But then you looked, it's like, it's because the rest of his team is all NFL teams because they yank him in the second half against the SEC championship game. Jalen Hurts comes in, scores 2 touchdowns, bails him out. And then you're like, and he got hurt a week before and didn't do as well in the Auburn game.
Yeah, he set Alabama's career touchdown record in 20 starts.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. People everyone's saying Jalen Hurts might be better than Tua. I was like, no, dude. Jalen Hurts season high for touchdowns for Alabama in that same offense against the same teams playing against the same teams is 23 touchdowns. Tua threw 42.
They literally played 2 years together, and once one of them got on the field and said, "Hey, look at this," the other one never saw it again.
You saw it in that national championship game. In one half, you saw who the better quarterback was.
It
wasn't close.
The fourth was it the 4th and 17 play that was the touchdown? It's like, why is he you just show that. You don't even need to show anything else. You just show that.
He drafted off one throw.
And the thing is, it's a mild comparison in that it's similar in that one of is obviously better in the Trevor Lawrence and Kelly Bryant, except Jalen Hurts is much better as a whole. Is that, but it's the adaptation that he's going is Hurts clearly said it's like I want to have the opportunity to play quarterback in the NFL. Lamar Jackson is helping that, Kyler Murray is helping that, Baker Mayfield is helping that.
He got drafted.
So he went to Oklahoma and he's going to show the things that he can do. And the benefit that he has versus those other guys is he's taller than Murray and Mayfield, and he's bigger than Jackson, to where it's like, okay, we might risk the money on this guy because he looks like he can survive.
We said Jalen Hurts' draft stock was absolutely abysmal last year.
Absolutely.
So we got to think if he's top 2 in the Heisman, how high do you
he'll be a first round pick.
You think so?
Late, kind of
again.
Lamar Jackson first round,
Well, no, that was in the teens. I would even say
Jackson was the last pick of the first round.
Okay, yeah,
Jackson?
that's right.
Yeah.
I thought.
He was the last pick of the
Ravens
first round.
have the last pick of the first round.
They traded up, I think. They traded up.
He traded back into the first round. I think they swapped with the Pats.
But I would easily see a quality in a playoff team that's got a 30+ quarterback go ahead and just see. And then that way they'll have somebody behind him, and then they can learn. It's like, we need to sign this guy to a longer contract or not?
Jackson's first round, 32nd pick.
Who could use him? Cincinnati needs a quarterback, but they're picking high.
Well, here's the Tua is most likely going to leave because I think since he enrolled early, he's going to graduate, so he'll be out. Also, he's looking behind him, and it's like his brother's already enrolled, so it's like I need to get out of the way so I can give him more opportunities. Tua is going to be going. Herbert, whatever his name, from Oregon. Ellinger of Texas, is he going to leave? Probably, maybe. Fromm should leave. Because there's no point. Because if he comes back, all they're going to be doing is looking for everything that he does wrong. And so and then Eason I think has another year, so he'll probably stay. So the interesting is in that next year is going to be really impressive because Lawrence will probably come out. Fields may come out from Ohio State, and then you have a bunch of other guys that are the sophomores now that are doing really well. But there'll be teams that trade up and grasping quarterbacks. The Giants did that with Jones, didn't they? Or they had the 6, and a couple other people would draft.
Are there any white, unimpressive ACC quarterbacks around this year? North
Carolina's is an underclassman. He's a freshman, so he can't do that yet. Virginia might be Virginia because they're going to be the better team on the other side. So it depends on what year that quarterback is. And North Carolina State's quarterback. I'm sure he's on it. But
State has 8 quarterbacks in the league right now?
Well, 3 of them at one point at the beginning of last season. 3 of them were starters.
Rivers, Wilson,
and then
Brissett.
No, I was thinking the
Brissett's NC State.
There were 4. There were 4. No, there was 4. It was the Glennon.
Yeah, Mike
the
Glennon
Bears at the beginning of it.
But Brissett's actually he's a state guy too. Oh, wow. And Mike Glennon's in the league still. You have Russell Wilson. I'm sorry, he's not a fucking Badger. You can say,
look, he's got 2 degrees. You can both.
He
got dual citizenship.
He claims both. He goes, I come from a pack full of Badgers, so yeah.
No, you've got dual citizenship. He can claim dual citizenship.
Yeah, so you get what Brissett,
when you transfer and you only graduate from one, it's the one. But if he got degrees from both places,
yeah, so. He can claim both. Who else was in the league? She's got a bunch of surprising guys.
The ACC, what did I say it was? Like 8 quarterbacks? Like a quarter of all starting quarterbacks in the NFL were from ACC schools?
And like 6 of them were from NC State.
Yeah, like three of them now. And and then you got the other guys going around.
All right, guys, I got to cut this short. Anything? Last thoughts? Final thoughts? Go see Joker or anything? Or
I recommend it.
But next week we should actually get more into the college football because more of the matchups will happen. Which was the one that was this week? Florida
and Auburn,
Florida
and Ohio
Auburn.
State and Michigan State are good games this week.
yeah, Ohio State rolls.
Well, Florida, we'll finally find out if Florida's a top 10 team.
I don't
They,
think.
they benched Felipe Franks, and the other guy's tearing it up, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's been the thing that
How do you get benched without losing a game?
that's the thing that Florida fans have been saying since Felipe Franks started his first game. It's like he's okay. That's the problem NFL teams have. You're good enough to win a game, but you're not good enough to win a game.
We also have Michigan against Iowa in another.
That's it.
In another,
Iowa's undefeated.
In another Harbaugh hot seat game. Michigan favored by 3.5 at home.
Yeah, now hold on. Harbaugh's lost one game.
He got slaughtered.
Yeah, but
he got one game he was favored in, and he got beat down by a team running when you only ever expect them to run.
He hasn't won a game. He hasn't been favored in like his entire tenure.
You want to know why we know that Russell Wilson went to Wisconsin? Because that's the only quarterback they've ever had that any of us have ever heard of.
Which is very true. Actually, I still think Michigan wins that game, but
They should.
yeah, they should.
But that's if it was in Iowa, I'd totally take Iowa. But in Michigan, this is the hot seat game, and this is what's terrible. Is like he's going to end up losing the Michigan State game, and that game's going to be lost 7-6 because Michigan State can't score points. He's going to get obliterated by Ohio State, which will be Justin Fields' last push to get an invite to New York for the Heisman.
College football has some amazing spreads.
Oh, you never have you ever looked at
it's like once like
you
they'll
get in
go
the 50s and 60s.
Well, no. They'll get to 42, 43 before they think of pulling it off the
hold on.
board.
Oklahoma against Kansas. Oklahoma's only favored by 32. I might bet Oklahoma.
Oh, no, you totally bet Oklahoma. And the only reason that is because Les Miles is at Kansas, and he thinks that they might know something.
Sure.
But they lost to Coastal Carolina 12-7 at home.
Terrible. The Auburn-Florida game. It's at Florida, and Auburn's favored by 2.5.
So, it's people don't believe in Florida yet. I mean, their big win is Miami, and they don't think anybody about that. So this is the opportunity to find out if they're anything.
I'm most interested to see if Harbaugh can win this game.
We'll have to find out now, won't we? All right, final thoughts. Anything?
Iowa.
All right, guys, thank you for listening to Simon Says Bet. We will be back next week with a pop episode as well. So you all have a great week. Actually, no, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to be out of town next week. My bad.
Me too. I'm flying. I'm in Florida from Monday to Friday.
I'm flying out. I'm driving up to Norfolk Sunday through Friday. So
Joker's a really good movie. It may or may not be related to comic books.
Yeah, we will find some time to record
DC
next.
stands for don't care.
Yeah, I believe that. All right, bye, guys.